This album literally came out when I fully got into hip hop.
Everything I spit rare, we sound in that gray area podcast. They talk about hip hop all the way in the UK, so they gon' get props. Ooh, let me catch it once again. Every time I'm spitting.
Ooh.
Yeah, got to put the bark in there. Listen, this is Discog Discussions, where we discuss discographies of artists that we love and sometimes hate, as you might find out later today. But also, these are well-respected people in the world of rap and hip-hop around the world. And today, we are discussing the Slim Shady, the real one, Eminem, the best white rapper alive. Go fuck yourself, Jack Harlow. Go fuck yourself, Logic. Go fuck yourself, Trinidad James. I don't even know where you are, Trinidad James, even though you're not white, but you can go fuck yourself. So, Trinidad James is black. I don't know where he came up in my mind, but fuck them white rappers. Especially you, H. The other guy, the short one. You know the one I'm talking about. Central C, you two. Fuck you. Right. Yeah. So.
That's another homophobe.
Trust me, yeah. Trust me. We don't support homophobia in here. We're all inclusive in the grey area. But anyways, so the culture's view of Eminem and his music. Everybody views Eminem as the GOAT, surely. Like anybody who's anybody in rap goes, Eminem is really, really good and is in their top 5 or 10. Anybody with any kind of common sense.
He was.
Well, you see, the run through says without giving away too much of your own. So I think we can, as a group, agree Eminem is a highly skilled rapper, and he definitely has influenced a lot of the people we hear now.
I feel like there's two like main schools of thought. You've got one big majority is Eminem's fan base that will kind of ride
that rule the game,
ride until he dies, basically. But there also, we have to kind of accept that a lot of Eminem's fan base are not really embedded in hip hop culture. They're not really into rap music. So they have quite a limited view of him in the grand scheme of things. And then I feel like the other main school of thought now is that I'm with Kieran. Like, you know, I think Eminem used to end up in a lot of people's top 5s, but now a lot of people are at a point where there's been a massive decline in his music, and there seems to be a disconnect from him and the culture. That's what I feel the two main ones are, without revealing what mine is. But we're the grey area, so I'm sure we'll fall in the middle.
Trust me. Hey, Theo, what are you saying about Eminem? Because we already know where Kieran's at, and he's just going to bring negativity to the situation.
I didn't say too much. No.
You're about to say too much.
I'm bound back in what Kieran said. I know. Yeah. Eminem, he I have to put in bold, was one of the best to do it, but his career had, well, we'll discuss about it, but the thing is, Sean couldn't have put it better than what he said, actually, because that's exactly how I feel. I feel like when he started off, the culture just loved him because he was, I don't know, he was almost like a breath of fresh air for what he was doing. And then as time went away and he started going away from what he was good at and started sort of feeding, how can I say it? He was feeding the whole, I need to be, it's when we talk about from relapse to recovery, I need to feed the public. I need to go back to what the old M was going, but he didn't grow as what he was meant to do as an artist. And in doing so, he then went away from the culture. So now he's making more sort of poppy tunes that he was not doing at the beginning. So now he's like there's a proper disconnect from the culture.
Okay.
And then we can touch about it because we touch about albums like Revival, but the less said about that, the better, boy. Wow. Tell you that right now.
I didn't even revisit that one. I'm just going to say it bluntly. I didn't listen to that album. I listened to Walk on Water. I was like, this is not... I don't want to visit this album.
No. I'm glad I'm not the only person that skips at least one album, because I skipped a few, because I was like, yeah, I'm happy that they're here on the run through, and I've acknowledged them. I tried. You know how bad it is? I started listening to some of these albums on shuffle, because I was like, maybe the randomness will loop me in and I'll stay locked in. I couldn't, and that's a sin, you know. Listen to an album for the first. Genuinely, some of these new albums is for the first time I listened to it on shuffle. I felt like an absolute renegade. But anyways,
yeah, let's get into it. Before we start revealing all our opinions and that. But first era. So again, if you've seen Discog Discussions, you'll know how this works. We recently spoke about MIA. We've spoken about the late, great Mac Miller, Tribe Called Quest. plenty of different artists. But the first era we've got is between 1996 and 2007. So that will cover albums such as the Slim Shady LP all the way up to Encore. I think I've suggested this before, but I feel like we should do this a bit different and try and cover as many projects as possible and go maybe even chronologically. So it'd be good to know, has anyone got anything from the Slim Shady LP?
Of course I do. And it's none of the obvious
but can I go
bits.
ahead?
Yeah, well, who else has got some?
Because I've got something from.
No. I mean, what's your number one? Like your number one that you wanted to share? Did you have the Slim Shady LP?
Yeah.
No, I had it before. Slim Shady.
I did.
So me and Sam have Slim Shady LP. So one of us should go first. I imagine. Sam, you go first.
My pick,
but I don't know. But you don't understand what I'm saying. I've got one before Slim Shady LP.
We're not doing.
You've got one before.
We're not doing that. We're doing official.
Why are we not doing that? I'm sorry.
We should do it.
Okay, we're gonna do it. So I would have to hit. I would have to hit up YouTube now. Is that what I'm having?
Yeah, you are gonna have to hit up YouTube. Yeah, you are gonna have to hit up YouTube.
All right, go on then.
Yeah, you know what it is? It's Infinite. The actual song.
That's actually on. That's on Spotify. You know?
Is it?
That one song's on Spotify. Yeah.
Was it like re-released or something?
I thought the whole album was on Spotify at one point, but then they cut it off.
I think it was, and then they're taking it off again. Annoyingly.
Theo's pick is Infinite. By the way, we're only listening to like a verse and a bit of the songs because otherwise we'll be here all
Yeah,
night.
it is on Spotify.
You know what's weird? Hearing that, yeah, you can hear where Mac Miller started out. You can hear where Kid Cudi started out. You can hear how, 10, 15 years before these artists were even in our viewpoint, they were inspired by Eminem.
I'm gonna be real though. That's more AZ and Nas. I hear like Life's a Bitch.
Yeah, it is. No, it is.
And I think
fully with Kieran. Yeah,
I get what Sam's saying. It's like maybe like, for example, Mac Miller was aspiring to be like how Eminem was when he started as well. But there is a deeper source than just the way, like, Eminem's not the first rapper ever.
Nah.
Do you know what I mean?
I'm interested to know why. I'm interested to know why you picked it, Theo, because I found this album to be like, he hadn't found his voice yet. He sounded like
he didn't.
A lot of other rappers.
Yeah, he did. But what I found interesting is what I could see where when he obviously moves to the Slim Shady LP. Yes, with his flows, it's clear that he's biting off Nas because that's all I hear as well. But the way he was sort of rhyming and connecting his rhymes together was something that was that you can hear the early indication of what he then goes on to then become. And I really like the song Infinite, but I find that song quite significant because it's like sort of the early work of where I can see the blueprint of what he's then gone on to become and use and with his rhyme and skills. But yes, you are right, because the whole album, when I listened to it again, and I did listen to it again, he has not found his voice. You can tell that he has influences from like his predecessors, especially Nas. That's why Nas came out and called him out after Infinite dropped. Like, he wasn't happy. Nas heard it and was like, "Yeah,
really,
yeah."
Eminem must have been buzzing.
Yeah. Nas was like, "Who's this? Who's this white boy trying to copy my flow and all this and that?" So he wasn't happy at all. He said, "No, it sounds exactly yeah."
I'm glad you picked something from there though, because I feel like I imagine there's a lot of even Eminem fans out there that haven't really checked for that album, but also like the sort of younger generations have probably never even heard it because it's not easy to access, not easy at all. But yeah,
well, going from strong beginnings, I ain't gonna lie. My pick from the Slim Shady LP, Sean already guessed earlier what I'm about. Yeah, I'm about the songs that are just wild, off the wall, the songs that are gonna like really kind of ruffle some feathers. Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like if I go first, it's going to ruin Sean's pick. Yeah, but I'm going to do it anyways because he invited me to go first. My pick is Come On Everybody. I think that song's just an example of how vulgar Eminem was from the jump. But the lyrical talent in that first verse is absolutely crazy, even though he's literally saying the most vile things you can think of. Like, he mentions AIDS, syphilis, killing people. That is the kind of shock value that I think kind of encompasses Eminem in this era. And that's why I picked Come On Everybody. Like, technically he's talking about coming on everybody, whatever, but it's actually quite entertaining, the skill level that he's showing there.
There's no denying that Eminem is one of the most when he came out, when I say when he came out, I mean when he popped off with the Slim Shady LP, right? My Name Is and things like that was one of the most out there intros to the game ever. There wasn't really anyone like Eminem. There hadn't been anyone.
He's audacious. Right. I think that's the best word for it.
It was provocative. It was offensive. It was different. And I mean, that's more of a sleeper on the album, I guess. It's more like a kind of, I'm trying to think of the word that we normally use, but it's not one of the sort of go-tos I imagine people would from the Slim Shady LP, but there's many examples on that album of what made him so original and so enticing at that period of time.
And stuff like
I've got
that.
A question as well.
Oh, go on.
Did he find... Do you think he's the creator of horrorcore? I know Dr. Octagon was also there.
Oh, Dr. Octagon is disgusting.
No. Yeah.
But I love Dr. Octagon. I'd say
I feel like this is like in commercial, like in mainstream rap.
Yeah. I think like how Kanye brought sort of industrial hip hop to the forefront with Yeezus. Maybe Eminem did that with horrorcore. Because I know, what are they called? Oh my God!
You talk about
like Lord Finesse and people like that were doing stuff. We're doing like kind of horrorcore-esque stuff. I mean, that's maybe sort of early 90s, even as far back as that. Gravediggers with the RZA as well, I think, were doing stuff like that. But yeah, Eminem, I think for a mainstream audience, it was wild, I imagine.
I'd say it's easily digestible, even though that song's title is disgusting and the hook is disgusting. It's actually kind of like that song for me is like foreshadowing all the stuff we hear in like the Eminem show and Encore, all those jokey songs. Like he's always had that kind of vibe. Like even in the beginning, he's like, "This is my dance song." Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, exactly.
But yeah, that's my pick from the Slim Shady LP. Obviously, it's not the best song. It's not the biggest song. Obviously, the listener right now is going crazy. Like, how do you not pick the fucking big tracks? It's like, fucking relax. This is the grey area. We pick what we like.
One thing I noticed as well is that he watered down his lyrics a lot. Like, Infinite, the way he was barring on that reminded me of modern day Eminem, where it's like, I'm going to rhyme every single word I can in whichever way I want to. But like here, it's more focused on just like communicating this like vision, I think. Do you know what I mean? Like there's I don't want to spoil it too much about
I know what you mean. I think well look, he says it himself, Eminem. I think teaming up with Dr. Dre, I imagine Jimmy Iovine was maybe involved as well, I'm not too sure. But having people like that, having that major label there to kind of, refine it and make it palatable, as offensive and as provocative as it was. I'm completely with you. I think he's still lyrical, but it's very clear. There's no mincing words and things like that, really. But I think, I've got a pick from each major album in this era, but I'm going to stick with the Slim Shady LP because this it's more of a personal pick, this one, and there's more to say, I think, about the Slim Shady LP. But before we do that, my pick is Rock Bottom.
The song directly after Come On Everybody. So if you're listening right now, it's a start from Come On Everybody. Nice. Let it roll through. That's a deep pick. That's a deep cut from that album. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
So for me, with that one, the Slim Shady LP is known for the witty, controversial lyrics like we've discussed. Eminem's sort of lyrical ability, the kind of cartoonish, gimmicky production at times and things like that. This was one of the sort of few early examples of introspection and I guess hearing from Marshall Mathers rather than Slim Shady, if that makes sense. Definitely not the best example of this. He improves on this in later albums, particularly in this era. But for me, like personally, as I always say, I kind of got into, I became sort of embedded with hip hop like year 10, year 11 times, right? And some of the artists that I used to, study, not even just listen to, study was like Tupac, Biggie, Jay-Z, Eminem. And this was one of the first hip hop songs that ever really struck a chord with me, because I won't go into it too much, but not long after the recession, old man gets made redundant. We get to a point where there's potential that we may not have a roof over our heads, right? We've got to sell the house and things like that. And I'm a moody, sensitive, over-emotional, dramatic teenager. So when you listen to a song like this and you listen to the lyrics, obviously you can't relate to everything, but when you really don't have that much money and you're seeing like your friends learn to drive and get cars and go on holiday and this and that, and you're not doing that because you don't want to ask your parents for the money because you feel bad and all this. These were the kinds of songs that got me through that period, which wasn't really that bad.
Yeah.
But like I say, I was an emotional teenager, so everything seemed a lot worse than it was. This one just resonated with me, and still to this day, it's not the greatest production. In fact, that album in general is not really aged that well both in terms of like the humor and the references, but also the production. But it just always strikes a chord with me. Always reminds me of that period of time.
Well,
Gets me through
definitely.
some
Even
shit,
me, I was reminiscing there about times where I've literally had not even zero, below zero. Like that, like where you're spending what you ain't got, and then you get to what you ain't got, and that limit is reached. So songs like that, I think that's definitely why Eminem resonated with so many people beyond just the idea of like, oh, he's white, whatever. It's like he actually spoke real issues. Because I think the flip side of that is like gangster rappers would be like, oh, I'm gonna rob you for your chains and money because I ain't got shit. But he's like, have you ever felt like this, like rock bottom? Like I feel like shit right now. And the stories he's telling, obviously, to some people would be like bang on the money, like not being able to get diapers for your daughter, not being able to afford, etc., etc. And it's one of those ones where Eminem has a deeper side, but I think that gets lost on a lot of the kind of crazy shit he says, that he actually does have some serious issues and has been through a lot. Especially for a first album, he goes quite deep.
Yeah, and people look to the wilder tracks on there, but also that there's some great examples of storytelling on that album. But this was an early indicator that this guy can tap into something and actually really sort of tug on heartstrings and impact you. So it will always be one of my favorite Eminem songs of all time. Always
respect that. Got to drop the bomber for that. Well, we've had Kieran. No, we have had Theo. We've had Sean. And we've had me. We haven't had Kieran yet. What's your pick looking like? Are you coming from the other 3 albums?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, okay.
So I think my pick was a song. I think I only heard it in the last year. I might have heard it at the time, like on LimeWire or whatever we used to use to find music, but it's Stimulate. It's on the 25th anniversary, or I don't even know what anniversary it was, of Eminem show. But it was a contemporary song, so I thought it was okay to still be
20th anniversary,
something like that, yeah.
Psst. Hey, listen.
That's a weird song.
But that technical ability when he's like
he's rapping with the drums, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's rapping with the drums. I was hearing. I was like, I was catching it.
Technical. And when he was there was that sort of scheme that he was doing with context. I can't pronounce. I can't remember all the C's, but he did that for about 6 times. He was doing that and just rhyming with all of that. Yeah, it's so incredibly complex. It's unbelievable.
When I say weird, I don't mean it in a bad way. It's just there's not really any. I can't think of an Eminem song that really sounds like that.
Nah,
I like it. It's quite alternative. I picked it because I guess it wasn't on the main album, and when it came out on streaming service recently, it was like, oh, this is the Eminem. I just want him to sound like again now, but I don't think we'll ever get that. But it kind of, I don't know. It felt like a new song that sounded like the M I Love, and I think I don't know. Also, I think this song's a really good example of everything he does in that album. Really. When I think of the Eminem show, that's actually the type of Eminem I'm looking for. Like, he's got all the crazy rhyme schemes, like you said. He's rapping with the drums and everything. Yeah, it just gets me in a mood. Like, this is why I like Eminem.
So I don't know how you lot feel like with this era. I mean, I think we're all in agreement that this, and most people would say his best music came from this time period. I personally think that his best album is the Marshall Mathers LP, but my personal favorite, depending on what mood I'm in, but I tend to sway towards the Eminem show because I just feel like he was so in his bag at that point. Like, although I know it sounds weird what I'm saying, the Marshall Mathers LP is his best album, but in terms of just him on a mic, the way he sounded, he just sounded so good. Like, it was almost like he'd mastered it at that point. He cracked it. And
there's so many different vocal performances on the Eminem show as well. I think that's the thing. The Marshall Mathers LP is great as an album, but like the Eminem show is like literally a show. He's got those high points where he's doing like, crazy screamo type stuff that we hear now, like Cleaning Out My Closet. And then he's got songs like Superman where he's like almost like in that Drake R&B
The best.
type vibe where he's
the best.
bouncing.
And then you
on
got
the
like
beat.
sing for the
best.
you got like sing for the moment, and you got my dad's gone crazy. He's got the comedy factor as well. What like Haley's in it, and then Haley, I think my dad's gone crazy. Got all of those sort of elements.
Yeah, that's not one of my favorites.
The Eminem Show is my favorite Eminem album. Always has been. I think it's his best. But I've always said
There's no misses on that album.
Yeah, I don't think that. Yeah, there's not a single miss on the Eminem Show. But I've always said that if there's a debate between the Eminem Show and the Marshall's LP, I can see both sides, but I would always tend to go with the Eminem Show because I just, as you said it, Sean, as well, I think he was in his bag and he was untouchable at this stage. He could just do whatever he wanted.
Yeah,
and
he
that's how
sounds
I feel.
amazing.
Yeah,
he sounds amazing. I think with the Marshall Mathers LP, I just think as a body of work, it was perhaps more, I guess, cohesive. And then also you think about some of the standouts on there, something like Stan, which was
It's an eternally
incredibly
banging song.
impactful. Yeah. And then
Eternally banging.
Kim as well, which is very hard to listen to. But I mean, even to this day, we go, "Oh, we cry together." That reminds us of Kim.
Yeah.
That it felt like the high points on that were very, very, very high, and there was this kind of consistent theme to it, and there was a noticeable improvement on the Slim Shady LP, both lyrically, I think production wise. I mean, when Dr. Dre produces most of it, it's gonna be better. It's certainly aged better than the Slim Shady LP, like sonically. But yeah, there was with the Eminem Show. I guess maybe he refined things even further on that one, and it all became smoother and polished. So like even to this day, it's probably the album that's maybe aged the best because of those refinements, because of the just piecing it all together the way he did. And like someone mentioned Superman, you know how I feel about that song. I think he just. I mean, that was one of my picks. I was very close to putting in.
I think for me, the Marshall Mathers LP has that nice midsection from like, I don't know if I think it's from Stan all the way down to maybe The Way I Am or something. It's like 7-8 tracks where, let me have a look actually, so I'm not talking out my ass. But the Marshall Mathers LP has moments where I'm like, oh, Eminem's an amazing rapper. But then I always have to kind of like backtrack on myself. So yeah, from Stan, then there's the Paul Rosenberg skip. We won't count that, it's only 10 seconds. Who Knew? That's a banger to me.
Yeah, that is a banger.
Yeah.
There's another little kind of
That's a
skip
real
going
banger.
on. The Way I Am, the real Slim Shady, arguably down for me to I'm Back. So that's what? 2, 4, 6.
I'm Back's hard as well.
That's
I'm
about
Back
8
is- yeah,
songs
exactly.
there of just pure, amazing, like undeniable rap skill, right? But then on the Eminem Show, it's like it's different vibes and different pockets. But like this is definitely like a very kind of like this is an angry man on the Marshall Mathers LP.
Exactly.
But that angry man's disappeared over the Eminem Show and especially.
I think that's why I like Eminem Show more though, because he's like less focused on being like controversial and like shock factor.
Yeah.
And he's just more focused on showing he makes great music. And he does, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some great songs there.
And for me,
I feel like if I'm in the mood to really sort of, I guess, really digest an album and get into a particular mood, I think the Marshall Mathers LP is the one. Especially if I'm like going back and like just trying to for stuff like this. But the Eminem Show is something I can just put on in most environments. You know, even for people that aren't really into rap, you can just pop it on, and then everyone knows like, you know, the big songs and even like something like, I know it was a single, but like a Superman, like you say, it's got that kind of R&B feel to it. It's smooth. And it's actually, do you know what? I was listening to the album the other day, and it's quite interesting in terms of subject matter, like the things that he's talking about. So, you know, you've got a song like White America. You've got, I mean, it goes into business, which is more of a fun track. You've got Cleaning Out My Closet. It covers you with the introspective thing. It felt a bit more varied, sorry. I didn't necessarily agree with some of his political views and his takes on the culture and society and things like that. But there's definitely, I feel like a bit more variety to it, I guess. And it
He
feels
also
like
changed
for the
his
first
voice
time.
as well.
Sorry, go on.
No, what are you saying, Simon? Sorry.
I know it was kind of what you were going to say. It was just that I feel like for the first time you got an Eminem album rather than a Slim Shady album.
His voice is so weird hearing like the not. I don't even know if he raps as Slim Shady on this whole album.
Slim
he
Shady's
might,
all
like,
like high
flex
pitched and
into
stuff,
it,
innit?
but-
Like he's all like
Yeah,
kind of like
yeah.
shouty, but
But
Eminem-
Marshall Mathers did that as well.
Yeah. I don't know. I like to kind of answer the question that we've got for this era. Is this Eminem's strongest era? I would say obviously yes.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
Absolutely.
100%.
And it's not like
doesn't
one
get
of those
better than
ones
this.
where he got better over time. Like this is literally his best work was in his first 4 albums. And arguably, I think at this point, he wanted to stop because he had a lot of issues going on. Even though he was famous and rich, like his issues still persisted. I don't know how much anybody knows about what was going on in his life between, you know, Encore and where Era 2 began, but he was fucked up.
Well, he apparently was fucked up during Encore. Like he'd always been using drugs, but I read some stuff that he was saying that, because this, I mean, we should talk about Encore as well. For me, Encore was like a noticeable dip, like big time noticeable dip from the Eminem show to that. I feel like Encore, the first few tracks, it starts okay, like I can kind of live with it, and then the middle part, which is what Eminem commented on, where he said all the sort of goofy, stupid tracks were.
Songs like
he said he kind of run out of ideas at that point, and he would just be popping pills in the studio and just go in the booth and just say whatever he wanted, and you could tell and it's not even just the content, is his rapping is noticeably not as good as well.
Big time.
Not rapping.
I think he lost focus because between the two albums, he made the 8 Mile film that he acted in as well, obviously.
Yeah.
And he made Lose Yourself, which is like, Lose Yourself, which is arguably his best song too. So I don't know. He kind of like completed the rap game. He moved on to the film industry. Then it's coming back on this the same year, I think.
So what's weird about this period of my life? I don't know about you guys, but it's like, this is 2004 and I'm like discovering like South Park and Family Guy and American Dad. And it's like this album kind of went hand in hand with that kind of like just goofy, wacky area of life.
I love Just Lose It.
White America.
Yeah, just Lose It, Ass Like That. All those songs kind of felt good at the time, but it's like, to be honest, when I listen back to Ass Like That or Ass Like That, it's actually just stupid. It's funny. It's
so
still
stupid.
funny.
It is funny, but it's so stupid. But Just Lose It,
it's a joke artist though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But Just Lose It is so offensive.
But it's weird because the album starts so good. Like you got Toy Soldiers.
But what's the first track that
Even
Never
Thieves
Enough
is good. So
Never
Enough.
Yeah.
But that's what
well,
was
Even
it.
Thieves.
Yeah.
Because as a kid,
you know what though?
I was not hearing any of that. I was only hearing the stupid songs.
But even the more serious tracks though, his songwriting wasn't as good either. Very, very long-winded. Like there would be like a whole verse almost where you're like he's kind of like very surface level, which is something that we'll come on to in the other areas where he's not really telling you anything. And then when you finally get to the story, you're kind of a bit like you're not in it as much. Whereas Slim Shady LP is a bit like things like Bonnie and Clyde and Guilty Conscience is as hard as they are to listen to. Like I can't really vibe with it, but
Who's playing music?
I don't know.
Trying to get us taken down.
No.
And then there's that song, is it Yellow Brick Road, where that's got to be one of the worst apology songs I've ever heard. One of it's not even he says sorry at the end, but it's just this really long-winded story, kind of like giving himself excuses as to why he said what he said back then, and then he doesn't really apologize because he just sort of, okay, I'm not racist, but I'm misogynist. That's kind of like the message at the end.
This is the thing with Eminem. It's like at least he's not saying the N-word, but it's like he'll say faggot in basically every single album.
Yeah.
And he'll be misogynistic in basically all of his songs that revolve around a woman.
Yeah,
I think that's the problem. He's very angry at all the women in his life, so it comes out very strongly in all his music, and it actually is really hard to digest. As a man who has loved and loves many women in my life, I was always a bit like, yeah, I'm not really vibing with all that stuff, you know.
Yeah, the one like it kind of comes on to our other point about how well the music's aged, but what I found listening back to this, and don't get me wrong, I've scored every album and I gave some pretty high scores in that, but in terms of my personal preference and replay value, I've realised that maybe I'm not as big an Eminem fan as I think I am. I don't know if I even am. I don't know if that's bad to say on this episode, but
I agree. I'm not an Eminem fan anymore.
We agree because
I've never been an Eminem
when me and
fan.
Kieran were talking before, this is what we were saying. I feel that at the beginning, I was like, I loved Eminem, but going through the whole Discog, it really made me think that, damn, I don't know, man. I appreciate him. I respect what he does and what he's done in the game, but can I really say I'm a big fan? I don't know.
Like
I don't respect everything he does.
That's the problem. It's like you don't want to throw away the good with the bad, but it's like the bad is so bad.
It's really bad.
Sure, what were you trying to say?
No, I was just going to say that there's some of the examples I was going to give was like, for instance, on the Slim Shady LP, you've got 97 Bonnie and Clyde. On one hand, you look at it and you go, very cinematic, great storytelling, but at the same time, I can't vibe listening to a man talking about murdering his
wife.
the mother of his child,
Yeah,
dumping her in the sea.
It's
with the
it's
kid there.
ridiculous.
It's
No, but
weird.
it's
And I know it's
entertaining.
not
though.
real.
It's entertaining.
Yeah, I know, and it's really. I feel like I'm contradicting myself because we obviously with film, we watch certain films and we
Yeah.
praise them for these things.
Exactly.
And that's what I'm doing with Eminem as well. But at the same time, it's like music's different. Music, I identify music differently. The reason why I listen to music is different to why I watch a film or TV and things like that.
But it's all entertainment though, and that's where I took my mind to, and I ended up having this conversation with a few people today about the fact that songs like what you said, 97 Bonnie and Clyde, is like, yeah, he's semi-serious, but he also hasn't done that, so it's technically entertainment. There's those people that make fucked up crazy horror films. Are they serial killers? No. Do they have the potential to be them? Possibly, but it's just entertainment.
And I thought about it, and I thought this came into my head today, right? And I thought about this, and because one of you, I think it was you, Sam, you mentioned about perhaps his sort of experiences and perception of women is what impacts the stuff that he said. I also thought to myself, is it a defense mechanism at this point? Like, he's been hurt by so many people that at this point in time, although there were introspective tracks and mature tracks in this era, the reason why he adopts this role of Slim Shady is almost like to mask like the pain he's been through in his life. I don't know. I'm not sure.
No,
I'm not giving him. I'm not condoning what he says and does.
It makes sense because people hurt people.
There we go.
He just takes lots of drugs and starts going crazy.
Yeah.
But a couple other songs I wanted to mention though, was because obviously I had Rock Bottom, Superman was on there, but Kill You was my Marshall Mathers LP song. I just think from a technical lyrical standpoint, what he does on that track, I still say to this day, there was no one. I hadn't heard anyone flow like that up until that point. When I've gone over like history of hip hop and that, there was no one attacking a beat like that. The way he was doing it. The words he was putting together. And then the only track for me that was really worth mentioning from Encore was Mockingbird. I know it's the big single,
so?
but yeah. Mockingbird
Is
is a
Soldiers
great
on that
song.
same album? I think it is, no?
Which one?
Yeah, like Toy Soldiers.
Like
that
Toy
one for
Soldiers.
me was...
That's a really good song now. That's
Yeah.
aged so well.
Yeah, that is.
Do you know
Mockingbird's
what,
banging,
though?
though.
For me, it's still a bit...
It's poppy.
Don't get me wrong, I do respect like Toy Soldiers, but it's another example for me of just being a bit long-winded. He wasn't really... I get a bit bored when I'm listening to it because I know I've heard it so many times, but it takes I don't know, it's just a bit...
It's a long song and it feels long. But
I'd rather feel bored than being put in a bad mood though. Like, I'm not gonna like. I was put in I put Kill You on earlier today. I was feeling weird. Like,
Feeling off
I was
kilter.
hating myself. Yeah, it was off. I don't
You
know
don't think
how
Kill You
feel
is
when you
amazing,
listen to
though?
it. No,
I do,
Sean.
yeah.
I'm not anymore.
Really?
I still appreciate it,
Not anymore.
but I think, I don't know, I think we're getting really bogged down in era 1 because we're trying to avoid era 2, yeah, but the honest thing
Let's
is...
move
yeah,
into that.
sure, you made some
no.
great points about those songs, yeah, but I think it's like, past the first, let's say, like 3 projects, past that, we're just trying to cherry pick because the Encore album is, in and of itself, a mess.
It is a mess.
Of greatness and a bit of madness.
But the
It's
single
almost
track
like
is hard.
Mostly
album.
madness.
Single
It's
track
very
is
much
hard.
like almost a Yeezus album, where it's not Yeezus, Donda. I don't even have the Donda button on this board, but you know what I mean? It's a complete mess and we're picking out the best parts and the best parts are amazing.
I hear that.
Yeah. But I mean, just to clarify, when I'm saying things like Kill You is amazing, I don't condone anything that he's saying in these songs. And that's one thing as well.
That's the big disclaimer for this whole episode. I got to put that at the top. Yo, we do not co-sign
the subject
anything.
matter is,
literally anything.
The Slim Shady and even a lot of the Marshall Mathers LP, a lot of the references haven't aged well, but particularly even today, like I was listening to, we'll get to it, but some of the stuff he still says in recent times, you just think, no, like I know it's a character, I know it's not real, but why? I don't.
It's
Yeah.
awful.
Anyway, let's
Some of the
move on.
stuff he says.
Era two. Has anyone got anything from? Actually, no. A bit of context. So
Please.
Eminem retires, right? We know that there's a pill addiction. He's still dropping features, and there's like I think there's an album that comes out as well. Is it with the re-up or something? I can't remember.
Around
I
this
like
time
that.
as
I
well.
bought the CD from that.
He did that song with Kanye, Drake.
So there's Forever, which is coming into where we are now,
Yeah.
like the comeback. But we know that Proof gets murdered in 2006, and I imagine has a big impact. Eminem overdoses in 2007, so he goes through some stuff. And then 2009, we get the comeback, which is Relapse. Does anyone have any songs from Relapse?
I do, but it's just one, and it was very, very easy to pick because it's the best song on there. It's
I
3
have one
a.m.
as well.
Well, actually, tell a lie. Crack a Bottle is a banger, but for me, if we're not going to go for the mainstream songs, because that's not what we do, 3 a.m. for me.
Okay.
Do you want to hear it?
That is a single. That's the single, you know.
Is it?
Yeah,
I
it's the
didn't even know.
single.
I think it was the lead
it is
single.
single.
This was the point where I actually stopped listening to Eminem and rap in general, really, apart from like the amazing people, and just was like, I can't listen to this man anymore. But 3 a.m. banger. But the way he leans into that beat with his flow, it's like he's doing that same thing again, where he's actually like he's moving and pushing and pulling with the beat, even though he's talking absolute craziness, like pure murder shit that we just said, like we hate all that stuff. For me, that's an example of Eminem's lyrical ability to take you on a journey, because you're seeing it. It's like, wow, there's this drug addicted kind of serial killer going about, and he's a very disgusting guy. But yeah, for me, from Relapse, that's literally the only song apart from Crack a Bottle. But even that's the pop song, isn't it? It's a bit easy to like Crack a Bottle.
Does anyone else have a Relapse tune?
I had one, but I'm not gonna.
You're not gonna pick it.
No.
What was it? Out of curiosity.
I liked Beautiful. It's just that kind of Eminem I like. Depressed.
Fair enough. Because I do have one that I was gonna pick, but I don't know whether to. I'll go for it. I'll trust that Theo and Kieran give us some variety. So I do have another song from Relapse, because it kind of leads into a bigger point. So my one is Deja Vu. That's my one.
DMC, we have a mid-30s male found down, unresponsive, possible overdose.
I wrote down one word just to summarize how I felt about Relapse, and it was frustrating, because on one hand, you listen to him on here and you can tell like he's got this energy back. He's rapping better. Seems like he's hungry. Like the break's done him good. There's particular tracks on here like 3 a.m. that Sam picked. My one, I think that Underground is another quite sort of standout track for Eminem at that period as well. Just very out there and experimental. But the reason why I say frustrated is if I was really invested in the culture at this time and a big Eminem fan, because this is about a year before I really like sort of fell in love with hip hop, I'd have been so frustrated with this, because for the majority of this album, he's not telling us anything really that went on in that 5-year period. And I know that artists have no obligation to be vulnerable and personal and this and that. But as we know, when they are, we appreciate it, and the music often benefits for it. And you just think, you're now 10 years in the game. You know, yes, there's the whole Slim Shady thing. We expect a certain type of content from you, but surely there was more with substance and depth that he could have shared in this album. And this is one of the only tracks where I was like, you're telling us what happened, like how you actually feel, not this Slim Shady character, not all this wildness that we've already heard before on all these albums. So it's like bittersweet for me. It's like, yeah, I like this song. And the beat, again, Dr. Dre, solid beat. But this is like one of the few examples on that album. And it's not a bad album at all. It's just subject matter wise. I've got no interest in going back to that album, because there's just nothing there that interests me, if that makes sense. I don't know if anyone else feels that way about Relapse. But...
No, I feel that way completely. And it's funny that me and you picked 2 tracks produced by Dr. Dre. I don't know if the whole project is produced by Dr. Dre. Someone else might know that better than me.
I think it was.
Oh, right.
Mostly. There is some Eminem and what's the guy that he works with? Is it the Bass Brothers or I can't remember. Some others, yeah.
But I feel like those 2 songs we picked are him doing kind of what he used to do best, but also kind of like, it's like you said, he's not really telling us anything new. He's kind of just telling us stuff. But I don't know. The Relapse album is like most people know that, you know, a lot of artists take drugs and have drug addiction problems. To come back from that and to, you know, be in a fit enough state to basically say, I'm going to go on tour, I'm going to make an album. It's a big step. And anybody out there that struggled with addiction will know that it's a big step to say you're clean and you're trying to stay sober and all that kind of stuff. But you're not going to produce your best work in that time. Some people do. You know, Mac Miller definitely did, but Eminem did not. I think he was still kind of in that weird like relapse, you know, mind the pun, but weird relapse place where he's like maybe doing a bit of drugs here, but not the same drugs that he was addicted to, but he still has that temptation and that thought, and it's really prevalent to me throughout this project.
I do think though that like Sean said, it was underwhelming when this album came out, because maybe we wanted a grander thing, especially after Forever. Even that in hindsight hasn't aged that well, but that was a good
terrible
feature.
The beat is so bad. That beat is
It was
so bad.
But you know what I mean when I say like it was a moment, and it kind of did shake up the hip hop scene, and it was like, oh, he's gonna come over maybe his best out. I don't know, something great, and it wasn't. But I feel like Relapse has aged well, or it is better in hindsight, because he's just, you have to compare it to the rest of what comes after this, and it's
it's true.
He's lyrical. The beats are really, really good on it as well. So like, I do like a large amount of the songs on it. But
ironically,
I know what you're saying,
as much as we're saying that's Eminem's like great return to the game, that's one of Drake's best verses ever, where he said his most quotable line in the first 4 words. But yeah, honestly, I don't know. Eminem's going through a tough time here. So can we really judge this period of his career badly? I mean, yes, technically if we're being objective, but I don't know. Sean has something to say.
Yeah, I feel. Do you know what it is? I feel really just back and forth with this. Is because I know on one hand it comes across really sort of entitled and nosy to be like, I want you to tell me about your life and your business and all this sort of stuff. But if you think about, I know it's a really silly comparison, but if you look at Kendrick, right, there was a 5-year gap from Damn to Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, yeah, and Kendrick didn't need to do what he did with that album, but the level of depth that he gave us and substance, we appreciate it, right? And again, it's reflected in the music, the body of work that he put together. He put his sort of life and soul into it. I think it was of benefit to him. When you compare it with this, and the reason why I'm saying words like frustrated and that there's kind of a sort of sour taste in our mouths when we talk about Eminem is because he showed us such greatness in that first era. Someone that could have really, I guess, at this point in their career, after all that they'd been through, and he's aged a fair amount at this point, could have really went to the next level, like kind of like what a Jay-Z has done with like the likes of 444. And we didn't get that, and we've never really got that, and it just feels like almost wasted potential in a way. Definitely. Maybe I'm being harsh. I don't know.
I agree with that. I agree. The thing I was going to say, I remember when Relapse came out, and I never really liked it, but I think it has aged better. And I don't know, he was kind of going through. Obviously, he was going through a hard time. Maybe he was even trying to find like a different sort of bracket that he could go on to. Because that's what I did recently when I listened to it in a different light. I think I got annoyed and I found the accents very jarring. But when I just took that out, I actually didn't find the album as bad.
Do you know what it
as
is? I was told today about the accents. Apparently, he was trying to see how he could make certain words rhyme that shouldn't rhyme and won't rhyme. And
that's the Eminem secret technique, isn't it?
Exactly, he found that the accents are what were actually allowing him to rhyme words that shouldn't rhyme together. So, apparently that's why there's so many of them accents going on in this.
Okay, fair enough.
But it is very jarring to listen to. But when you have that small piece of information, it actually makes it a little bit more tolerable, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So last thing I'll say with Relapse is, after all what I just said there, I still think it's better than Encore. I think it's better than Recovery as well, personally. I know someone might pick that, so I won't say much at all about that album. But and Eminem, I don't know if you've noticed this in his lyrics after this point, seems to trash Relapse. And I don't know whether that's because he genuinely believes that or if it's because of the reception it got. But I'd be interested to know what he thinks now, because I think it's quite clear that although despite the underwhelming, frustrating feeling I get from it, it's definitely better than albums. Definitely better than Encore. In my opinion, better than Recovery as well. And he was doing there's some standouts on here, and it's more consistent. He sounds good throughout the album. But I don't know, man. I don't know. It's all coming from love.
But I think you raise a good point, though. I think he trashes Relapse because of the critical reception, because what he then comes with, which obviously next pick, probably I'll say my pick comes from Recovery. But when he goes into Recovery, he was given what the media and sort of what the fans wanted. Not what he wanted to do and grow as an artist. He was almost like he was feeding to the lions. He was feeding to what everyone's needs were. Relapse was where he could grow as an artist, and that was what he should do. But he saw what everyone thought of it and thought, "Oh no, I can't do that. They want this type of M," and that's what you got with Recovery.
It's his biggest album ever, Soul Recovery.
Which is weird because I only really like one song off this whole album, which is the big song with Rihanna. And back then, Rihanna was killing it. Rihanna on a feature, your song's going to go, to the moon. But
I don't even like that song as well.
Wow.
Sam, that song's got undertones of like abusive relationships.
Yeah, that's why I like it.
Oh.
Toxic King here. go listen to some Future. But no, genuinely, that's the only song I like about. To be honest, that's probably the only song I actually heard off that album at the time as well. Because like I said, after I heard Relapse, I was like, I think Eminem's done. I'm gonna stick to the new artists because this is the problem. Back then, Jay-Z was off doing some bullshit. Kanye was like, hadn't dropped My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, so it was just buffering, waiting. I was like, okay, I got Kendrick, I got Mac, I got Cole. That'll do. I was like, Eminem is the only GOAT level rapper, and I'll give you Drake as well. At the time, was actually hitting GOAT level, and Wayne was doing this thing. But you know what I mean? I had to start dropping off certain people, and Eminem dropped off from there. And I honestly,
a lot of people cut Eminem out their lives at that point.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, he never came back into my life until he started dropping, stuff in this era 3. But realistically, this era is such a dead point for me because it's like I've only heard the hits. I've only heard the hits, and the hits aren't even that good.
You were skipping the albums, weren't you?
I was listening to them on shuffle. I was listening to the albums on shuffle. I'm not gonna lie, and I was struggling to find songs that were listenable. And I say that as a harsh opinion. That's probably not true. Like, we're probably gonna get flames for this, but what can I say?
So Theo's got a recovery song, yeah?
Yep. So people might find it jarring, but anyway, I like it. And it comes from. To be honest, it comes from a good place where he's quite passionate about it, and that's probably why I like it. So it's You're Never Over.
Okay, I thought you were going to say White Trash Party. I was like,
no.
The days are cold, living without you.
That's enough of that. Honest to God, that's enough of that. That is just pure noise.
I told you. I knew you would find it jarring.
I don't know if you could see my face all the time. I don't think my eyes could open any wider. They could have fallen out my head. That is terrible.
I was trying to fake it. Like
I was vibing for a bit, then the hook come back. And
no, it's the hook. It's the hook, isn't it? I knew you would find it jarring. I knew you would find it jarring.
The song's not that bad.
But no, and I hear what you say. The thing is, it's mad because I really hear what you're saying. And I saw it in your face and I knew it because I just want to get to the verse in it because the flipping whining on the hook is just whining on the hook is too much.
That's not a good song. Please feel free to talk about that song, Theo. But me personally, that song is absolute garbage.
I wish you didn't pick it, Theo. Honestly, like I didn't hear that song ever.
But Theo, explain.
That's what he sounded like on that hook.
I just think no, because honestly, I tell you why I picked that. He hadn't touched upon Proof dying, and Proof was obviously his best friend. He hadn't touched upon it at all whatsoever. He had been gone, like obviously Encore, and then he had the break and had the drug overdose. But obviously Proof dies in 2006. Doesn't touch on it at all. Then we get to Recovery, and you finally get some emotion on what that did to M and how he felt about it. So I'm not listening to like the hook, even though I've been singing it because it's bit after listening to it a while. Even though when you listen to it a while, you start whining yourself. I'm not gonna lie, but I know it's but the verse and what he's talking about, it's just nice to see that emotion and what Proof sort of meant to him, and it's nice to get that sort of side from Eminem instead of, I don't know, it was just nice to get that sort of side, just that someone that meant a lot to him. No, not the whining, man. The whining
Days are cold.
Thinking without you.
I tell you what, please, I never want to hear that song ever again in my life.
But
that was terrible.
Yeah. So my thing with Recovery, so I've said, you all know this. 2010 times is when I really sort of got into hip hop, and the first 3 albums, and I'll always be honest with this, the first 3 albums that I really sat with were the Carter 3,
good choice,
Blueprint 3,
what
good
fire
choice
album, Carter 3,
and Recovery, right? So when this came out,
what
no,
the
Such
hell?
a weird collection of albums.
2 great albums that have lasted the test of time, and then this. Is it because it just come out?
This album literally came out when I fully got into hip hop. So it was like you're saying, you were looking for the big artists to come out. This was the one. It came out.
Did you buy it in HMV?
The biggest song
Did you go
in the world.
HMV and buy this one?
No. I haven't got the CD yet, but I listened to it a lot.
Okay.
Illegally. so I loved this at first, yeah. And then obviously you get more and more into the music, the history. You start listening to other things. I didn't come back to this for a long, long time. And what I'll say about it now is going back, listen to it in prep for this. It's very, very surface level, very shallow. I'm about to be really rude and I feel bad because I don't like being disrespectful. But what this album reminds me of is, I don't know if you still get this, but back in the day, on Instagram, you get those pictures of people like sitting on a rock by the sea, staring out in the distance, and there's that cheesy quote, that cliche quote. This is like this album. That is this album. It's
fake deepness, yeah. It's just fake.
It feels like it's trying to be very motivational and very emotional and what's the word? I guess introspective.
Yeah,
but it doesn't hit. It doesn't.
You know what
hit,
it is though? Sometimes he might not be feeling like that inside, but he's trying to force it outside. And like it made him feel good making that music, even though it's not like.
And I don't know whether it was a conscious decision where people were like, "You didn't tell us anything on Relapse," so he's like, "Okay, I'm going to tell you this stuff." But like Kieran said, maybe he wasn't ready to. Maybe he just didn't have he still wasn't back into the swing of things. And the other thing with this album as well, and to me, there were the standouts I had, and one of them is a bit like with Theo, where I don't really like the song much, but the content interests me, was Talking to Myself. Sorry if I've taken that. But where he's commenting on the dark place he was in and wanting to like send for other rappers just to kind of get back that relevancy. So he was talking about what he was going to send for Wayne, he was going to send for Ye, he was going to do this and that. Kind of reminded me of Game Now, actually, and what he's done to Eminem. But anyway, I digress. But there were a couple of songs in there that have kind of, I was vibing to it, but the vast majority of the album, I just couldn't help thinking, I'm not getting anything from this. Like lyrically, there's just and the shouting as well. Oh,
yeah, the shouting is mad. The shouting is
like
mad.
If you try and like flick through that album, you get a headache. Honestly.
No, you do. And you know what's so funny? Like when you were saying how you thought that album was good. That's what I remember. I went to Cos and it came out. And I was like, obviously with group of boys all going to Cos, and I was thinking, oh yeah, this album's fire. And it's when Not Afraid came on. I'm not afraid. Oh yeah, this fire. He's coming back.
That's bad. That was still hard though. I ain't gonna lie. That was hard.
I don't mind it.
Not Afraid is alright. I'll give you that.
No, that song is just it's not great. No, I don't
it's
like
cheesy pop music. It's not good pop.
Yeah. It's not. It's the whole covering. Oh yeah, then Relapse wasn't that Relapse CD was meh, and then having to. Yeah. Like, why do you feel the need to do that?
It was apologetic.
He didn't make a better album this time.
Yeah, exactly.
Go on, Kieran. No. Give us your struggle pick from this era.
Sorry.
Give us your struggle pick because we all.
Are
know
we sounding like Eminem
era.
haters? Can I just reevaluate like our approach?
No, we can't.
do my monologue.
You have to be honest. It was a dip. You have to be honest.
Yeah. I actually had one from Recovery, but I don't know if I want to be on that album right now. I'm going to give you LP2, but I picked Riders from Recovery, the deluxe. It was quite a cool bonus track.
Oh, okay.
It sounds like classic Eminem as well. I was feeling reminiscent when I was picking my picks, but don't play that. Don't play that, people.
I'm not
going to. This is the thing with LP2, Like
I'm telling you right now, I do not feel that album. There's only a few songs that you could.
Oh really?
No, I don't feel that album.
Oh, we need to get to.
Okay, wait. Let me pick. Let me pick Berserk. I'll pick Berserk.
Oh,
why is Sean's head like a coffin?
Now the shit's about to kick off. This party looks whack. Let's take it back to straight hit.
Hey, no, I forgot how hard that song was, man. That song was like that song. No, let me say this. That song was in every trailer for a hot minute. Do you remember that bit?
I picked this song because there's something endearing about it. Like he's doing the Beastie Boys thing. It kind of is working. Like there's the whining voice of the chorus. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I was shocked when I just heard that.
I like that. I like that song. I forgot I like that song.
The song is. I know what you mean. The song's right. It's the hook, man. When he's just whining.
That song is fire though. Like it's like if he made an album that he was trying to like do something like that on the songs. I don't know. I'd be artistically interested in it.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I don't know. The other pick was Bad Guy from this album, but I just heard people trashing it on the group chat. And I was like,
no, I like Bad Guy. Bad Guy's a good song. That's a good story.
I actually think Bad Guy's one of his best songs in this era, but
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know.
That's
You guys
the
got
only
me
song I like
insecure
from
about
this,
my
this,
picks.
this album is Bad Guy and Rap God. But realistically, Rap God is
No,
actually what made me feel sick.
no.
Rap God made me
No,
feel
like-
like genuinely sick in my stomach. So I was like, this is too much.
Rap God is horrible.
It's
Like that's
disgusting.
that's like what Logic like crafted his career around. You know what I mean? Like, that kind of rapping.
Whoa. But I feel this is good though because I feel like
knew he was gonna laugh.
We're
I feel
opening
like
up.
this is the album where
therapy.
there's the most polarized opinions because I actually think this is his personally I think this might be his best album outside of the first three, like the first main three.
No.
See, you're moving crazy. You're moving crazy.
You are
No, I do,
moving
honestly.
crazy.
You're moving crazy.
No,
What are you
Sean,
talking
I know
about,
you
Sean?
like Ram or Reason, innit?
Please explain what you're talking about.
Rhyme and
I do my
Reason is
monologue.
horrible. I can't stand that song. I'm telling you right
Rhyme
now.
or
I
Reason?
can't- No,
No,
I
my
can't stand
thing
that
is-
song. Oh, it's so...
For me, there's a couple songs in here, the first and the last one, like for instance, Bad Guy. Like, that's one of his most creative songs.
It's an amazing.
God, that song,
yeah.
that literally you made me sick. Instant COVID for that one.
What, Bad Guy?
Just the fact you said that this is his best work.
I think you're making it up. I think you're making it up. You need to listen to Bad Guy again.
I listened to it this morning. It's a good song. It's a good song. I don't talk about
Yeah,
the
that's
song.
what I mean.
About
I
this.
think
You still
I
got
was
the
going to say
project.
you had to be trolling because there's no way that there's by far one of the better
That
songs.
song's
in that
great,
album.
but you're talking about the LP. No.
The what?
You talk about the album being one of his best bits of work. What are these two laughing like that for?
No, I'm saying post the Eminem show, in my opinion, Marshall Mathers LP2 is arguably his best work.
Okay.
Oh, Sam.
It's not that wild. Like we've
No,
just
big
talked about
nasty
relapse and recovery not being all that. It's not that wild.
Bruh. All right. Well, you're entitled to your opinion, but as Kieran, I should have put it on the board. What Kieran said, you're entitled to your opinion, but I think it's wrong.
Wait. Catch me up. What's going on?
Evil Twin as well, the closer. No one thinks that's a good song.
I haven't
I
really
like
listened
it.
to it.
I like it.
Like I said, I started some of these albums on shuffle.
But I think, Sean, the thing is, though, think about the subject matter on Evil Twin. It's like he starts saying some homophobic stuff in halfway through. I was like, I'm pressing next on this now.
Yeah, but look, listen, that he's doing that throughout his whole career. You know,
True.
he's doing that for like we
I was in a bad mood.
we spoke about songs and albums where he's doing that as well. Do you know what I mean? So we've kind of got as weird as what I'm about to say it is. I don't know. In terms of like rating his music, it's almost like you can't really use that as a.
So would you say
sure.
that the Marshall Mathers LP2 is like it's like his return to the game, and then from there it's an upward trajectory? Are you say is that what you're trying to say, Sean?
No. Let me clarify what I'm saying. So, Slim Shady LP, Marshall Mathers LP, Eminem Show. That is like by far his best work. Yeah. Encore's a big dip. Relapse goes up a bit. Recovery comes down again. For me, the Marshall Mathers LP2 comes up a bit more than Relapse. And then after that, we're going into Era 3. I don't think any of those albums are as good as this.
Oh no, I know. I think Kamikaze is better than this.
We need to get into Kamikaze because that is. We need to get into that one then.
Are we just skipping over Revival?
Even Music to be Murdered by.
Yeah, exactly. Music to be murdered by is actually a decent album.
Wait, I'm asking the big question. Are we just skipping over Revival completely? Because I ain't gonna lie, I don't like any of Revival.
Hey, I don't want to talk about it.
Revival is literally the worst album. That album is just
I heard
terrible.
Walk on Water this morning. It put me in a bad mood for the rest of the day. Like,
Sean, what about you? Any thoughts on Revival?
I could pick a song, but no. Look, Revival is his worst project. It's his worst.
Walk on Water.
Every single
Walk
one,
on Water
yeah.
is a poorly executed savior. I said it before.
But this is the
That's
thing as
exactly
well.
what it is.
Think about early M. He used to like hate on these pop artists and say like I'd never work with any of them. And then you go to this album.
He's worked with every
and
single one of
the
them.
majority of them are
Yeah,
featured
exactly.
with like the biggest pop artists in the world at the time.
Yeah.
Wait, what
going
do you
on?
mean? I feel like that's quite a. You said. What did you say? Walk on
Walk
Water.
on Water is a poorly executed savior.
Savior. What do you mean, savior?
Kendrick savior.
Came first.
Oh, Kendrick. I'm thinking you're talking like a savior song. Like
No. It's poor, that's what. Yeah, Walk on Water is a poorly executed savior. What Kendrick did on Savior was executed to its finest. Whereas I get the subject matter on Walk on Water, but it was poorly executed.
Right.
It's the same sort of concept of what they're both saying.
Okay.
All right, so we're skipping over Revival. Sorry to the people that like Revival, but we ain't rating that. That shit is garbage. I don't even have a button to like.
I would have picked.
It's not wow.
What would you have picked?
The one song on there where I thought, do you know what, this is actually interesting content and whatnot, is Castle.
To be fair, I'm with you on Castle.
Yeah.
But is anyone making that far into this album? I don't think people are.
No, I didn't.
No, I did.
I've never heard that song in my life.
No, I listened to every single song on the album just to get through it.
That's difficult.
Shall I pick it then? Should I just do it as my pick?
Just show us.
If it's not your pick, it's not your pick. It can be your honorable mention.
It is. It's one. It was on my shortlist. So I think let's listen to Castle, because I think that is. I want to be fair to him, and I think that is probably the best song on the album. Is at least in terms of subject matter. It showed maturity and growth. But yeah, just go for it. Yeah.
I built this castle. Now we are trapped on the.
To be fair, that is a decent song. That's a decent song.
Hard.
But it's all the way at the end of the album, and it's like that's probably, obviously for me, because I haven't heard it, might be the best song on the album, but it's also the deepest one he's done in a while, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah,
I think so. I think it's probably deeper than near enough everything on Recovery as well.
It's deeper than the last three albums.
100%. It's deeper. Yeah.
But for me, with that one, and I think it transitions into a track about his drug overdose as well. So it's quite a good ending. But just to kind of, I mean, for that track specifically, I think with that one, it just showed, I guess, a level of maturity and accountability on his part. To go back quickly to Marshall Mathers LP2, because I know I'm on my own with this album, but the reason why I rate that slightly highly than a lot of the other albums around this period is because for me there were elements of him kind of recapturing the great aspects of him earlier in his career. So like you had the creativity in Bad Guy and Evil Twin. You had the technical ability in like a Rap God or a Legacy with what he did with that. But you also had the narrative started to change. Like he started to more think about how, okay, I've been trashing my mum all this time, but it was my dad that left me. You know, why am I always kind of going at her when it was him that maybe contributed to why she was the way she was, and in turn how it affected me. To go forward to this one, with this one, he's kind of like addressing the fact that he was bad mouthing, you know, Kim, the mother of his child, including Hayley's name in there, and what impact that may have had on her, and what it's having on her now. And you know, it's not. I don't think it. Again, it's not making me say, oh, you know, I kind of condone everything that he said in the past and whatnot. But I think it just shows progression on his part in terms of subject matter, in terms of maturity. And yeah, like Sam says, I think it's probably the strongest track on that album as well. So yeah, I wanted to give it Revival its just due, basically.
No, I'm glad you picked that. You know, it changed my opinion. I'm genuinely baffled. I didn't know that song existed.
Yeah, I didn't know that song was hidden in that album. But what can we say? Like that's the problem with some of these albums. Like very bloated. Like Kieran said earlier, just full of like attempts to make it hit. Theo even said, you know, this is a poor attempt at Savior and Walk on Water and stuff like that. So it's, you know, I don't know. Maybe my opinion on that song has changed my opinion on that album, but realistically, that Revival,
it won't.
Yeah,
it honestly, it won't, because I put myself through it, and Castle was like literally one of the only few songs. I didn't mind a couple of others, but Castle was the standout massively because that was the most deepest out of them. The rest of the songs, you'll just get angry. Honestly, it's
Fair
just
enough.
Yeah, Revival. And I mean, I remember just. I think I gave it one listen at the time, and I knew that was enough for me. The thing about that album was because, again, like I say, there were a lot of elements to Marshall Mathers LP2 that gave me a bit of hope. But there were also things in Marshall Mathers LP2 that made me look. Now, when you listen to both albums in hindsight, the seeds were being planted. Like his voice really changes from the end of that era, the era 2 that we've discussed, Marshall Mathers LP, into this one, to the point where it's like almost like it's not him. It's kind of the flow is very like staggered and like offbeat, but in this really weird, almost like robotic way. And the voice has gone higher pitched, and yeah, it's a strange.
It's like he's trying so hard to be like Slim again. but not drug fueled about it.
Almost like, for me, it's more like I'm trying to like elevate my technical ability. But it almost sounds like it's being made in a lab. Like it's not, it's lost the human element to it. And I think that's why he staggers the verses so much, because he's trying to rhyme things in a certain way, and you can't do it without breaking up the sentences in that way.
The thing is, Eminem's the type of rapper, like he'll write lyrics that he can't rap yet, and he'll practice them until he can rap them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the little bit of revival that I wanted to share.
No, thanks for that.
Who's got Kamikaze then?
I got one from Kamikaze.
I feel like Theo does.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah,
say.
no, to be honest, I'm torn between Kamikaze and Music to Be Murdered By. There's a
I
song
think
on
I've got
there
one
as well.
from Music to Be Murdered By.
Yeah,
So of the last.
Sorry, I'm having a war
torn
with
between
them
the two.
I don't know where it is
So
now.
let Sam go first. See if he gets.
There's a lot to
pick
say
or
about Kamikaze, I think. So two tracks won't hurt us, I don't think.
not. Okay, cool.
So for me,
I might pick for Kamikaze then.
Kamikaze, the song I've picked is the opening track, which is The Ringer.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I like that.
I fade. It was so unnecessary as well. The song ends there.
Yeah, I know. But
Yeah.
it's one of those ones where that song, he's just going off. No hook, nothing.
Yeah.
Like, he
Yeah.
addresses, like, we're talking about he doesn't address anything for a long time. He addressed pretty much everything. He also did a bit of a control verse in the middle there where he's like, if you ain't these people, I don't give a fuck who you are. Like, there's a lot of rappers that were stressed after they heard those three names, you know?
Sean's not about it. I thought that was so
Yeah.
sick. Like,
I do. I
honestly.
think it's hard. Yeah.
Listen, Kamikaze, arguably out of all these albums, is the one that's the most fun to listen to. That production wise, it's more in line with like the sound that I like, and I reckon a lot of rap fans like. But his content in this, I think by this point, I just got tired of Eminem answering for the previous project that he made, because he did it with Recovery, kind of. It was like, right, people were saying that they don't really want to hear from Slim Shady. They want to hear like from me. And he gives you the sort of, like we say, the sort of surface level, shallow bars. Then we get a bit of a break. We go to Marshall Mathers LP, where I thought he was on an upward, kind of rekindled a lot of the things that worked. Not everything was right, but we rekindled some things. Then we get Revival, which is a confusing choice. I don't know what the direction was with that. And then he gets slated for it, and he gives us this. And I just always felt, Eminem, you're above this, man. You don't need to answer to these people. You don't need to. I don't know.
Sean, I don't know though. I like this song because it's like his return to the rap scene, and like situating him in a place where like people actually love him in this place for what he does on this album. Like all the rap.
Is it received that way though? That's the thing.
I think so. I think
received
people
positive. Yeah,
people like the beef
it,
that. I think he was having
Yeah.
beef with MGK on this album, and like people liked the disses
Yeah.
that were on this, and like Fool did well.
I just think when you then like 2 years later you get the next album, right? He's slating sort of mumble rappers and that generation. Then he's got a big song with Juice WRLD. There's the whole controversy with Tyler where he is homophobic and this and that, and then he's got Young MA on there.
And then he apologizes for it as well.
So I mean, I guess maybe like I'm sounding like one of these people where Eminem can't win no matter what he does, but it got to a point for me where I was just like, it's like you're making albums in response to the reception you're getting to the previous one, and it was just so apparent on this one for me. Even though
I think the thing is though, he had to do that because Revival was such a bad album that I was glad that he gave us this kind of like apology album that was like possibly put together better than Marshall Mathers LP2. Because I think on that album, he does some songs that are reaches that just don't work. Whereas on this one, I can't really see a song that's actually a dud here. Like, I guess I don't listen to Normal. I can't even remember what that is. But every other song on this is good.
I know, that Nice Guy one with Jesse Reyes.
Oh yeah, sorry, that's a bit of a
Yeah, that's not. Yeah,
Normal is odd.
Just them two though. Like the rest of the album is good.
The album sounds fine. He's rapping well. Maybe I'm being really harsh, but
I think you're too caught up in the
time. It was like I just felt like M didn't need to do this. You know,
I hear what you're saying because he's already done it, didn't he? He already did it with Recovery, didn't he? And he's addressing everyone, and it keeps feeling like he's having to address things. But Revival was such a load that when he came back with this, I tell you what, this is the album that got me back to listening to M. That was the thing. I was not listening to M.
For me, it's a strong open as well. Like it's a strong open, and it kind of teases you into the rest of the album. Like you end up hearing it rather than the other album. Revival. I didn't get drawn in like this.
Let's be real. Everybody writ off Eminem when he dropped Revival, and this was like a comeback in a way that's like, oh, actually he actually isn't like fallen off at all.
See, I don't know, man. Like, if I'm trying to,
Sean was not buying it.
I'm just trying to remember the reception at the time, and I remember people being like, "You just sound like a bitter old man." Like they were just sending shots at the younger generation. And
people were saying that. I heard people saying that, but were they actually Eminem fans though? Because like at that time, I was definitely an Eminem fan, and I was feeling it when it came back.
Yeah. But look, to give it balance, like his rapping is still on. His rapping's on point. Yeah, the music sounds better. And on one hand, you can say, well, that's all that matters, really, right? But I guess just I'll say it again. Like this comes from love, innit? Like, this comes from being a fan and that. And I think maybe we just put him on too high a pedestal all this time.
Nah, his pedestal got kicked over for me, boy. Like he's not on no pedestal. He had to fight his way back to the top, and songs like that is what kind of put him back semi on the top for me.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Let me pick from Kamikaze then. Let me go. I'm gonna go Lucky You because I'm sorry, he does a madness. He does a madness on this track, man.
Yeah, they both do.
Yeah, don't forget Joyner. Yeah.
I almost broke my neck to that one.
Eminem goes off, doesn't he?
Yeah, that would have been my pick from this album.
Yeah,
that was. Sometimes rapping is just so good that it's enjoyable, right? That's and that's one of those.
That's a master of like fast flows.
That's what I mean. That's master exactly. Master of his craft, man. That is just ridiculous what he just does there, to the point where you just start. Well, he's just going so much. You can't keep up. It's almost like you're going around and you feel dizzy from it. It's just mad, just absolutely mad.
And that's the thing. We can never ever downplay Eminem's technical ability. Like he is on a different level when it comes to the technique. But even in that song, right? I know I
What's
said
this like? No. Sorry,
listen.
you can't talk. You can't talk down after that. Like
in Sam's track, yeah. He's like I say, he's kind of taking aims at the younger generation, specifically a certain type of flow. He opens this verse with that flow. So this is what I mean. This is what bothered me at the time, and what bothers me now is I didn't like the look. It came across a certain way.
Than them. He's rapping that Migos flow with lyrics that like they would never do.
But is that fair though? Because Migos were killing it around that period of time, killing it, and
kind of appropriated it.
I'm not talking about the whole thing. I'm just talking about the opening few bars. Was definitely 100% that.
You can't deny that it gassed it though. It gassed the entry of that verse.
Oh, he elevates it to a technical level and a lyrical level that yes they can't match. But I'm just saying this album has always been jarring for me from a content perspective because it's like 1 minute you're saying this, the next you're doing that, and then 2 years later you're then like you've changed your opinion pretty quickly. It almost seems like you're kind of answering to people like me who what we again answering for like to the criticism and adapting
Sean,
to it.
I feel like you're criticizing the person and not like the art or like the music.
Oh yeah, no.
Do you know what I mean?
Out of all the albums here, this is the one where I'm criticizing him more than the music because, like I say, arguably to just put on in the background post Eminem show, this is probably the album I would put on. One because it's not that long. I know it's a bit harsh to say, but two.
That's not harsh. That is not harsh.
It's not as bloated as the rest. Usually,
Eminem's from that generation, him and Game, where they just think like,
it's so
plus
annoying.
25 tracks is an album, and it's like, no,
so annoying. You don't need to put that many tracks on every. Like that's again why I like Kamikaze because there's 13 songs. Why did he feels the need that he has to go 18 song plus? It just annoys the hell out of me. But hey.
But yeah, I'll be like I say, I will be honest, and I am aware that I'm probably sort of being contradictory and like Eminem can't do any right at this period for me. But my big problem is the content with this album. That's all. I just found it quite tone deaf, and he just seemed really out of touch at this point to me. But yeah, maybe by the sounds of it, I'm kind of in the minority with this one.
Did you pick up the Kendrick influences though?
Oh
Kendrick
yeah, for sure. So even on the Ringer as well.
Yeah, even on the Ringer,
inspired by Kendrick too.
Yeah,
but it's not a bad thing. He's not copying Kendrick like certain artists. I don't want to call them out on this pod, but like certain artists do actually just like copy Kendrick when they get inspired.
You talk about your favorite boy, Logic.
Logic, Saba.
Don't go for
Anderson
Saba.
.Paak sometimes.
Oh,
like Jid.
Whoa, that's a new.
I'll say them all. I'll call them all out.
Jid,
I'll do my monologue. Oh, Jid 100%.
Oh dear.
When
Anyway,
Jid came
Kieran,
out,
can
it
we
was
have
like-
your pick from
No.
Era 3, please?
Sorry,
Because
guys.
this is unnecessary what you're doing right now.
Sorry.
Trying to get the podcast cancelled before it's even blown up. That is wild.
Jesus.
I like how this episode's gone, to be honest, because it's
Let's
gone
wrap it
from,
up.
like-
I didn't even want to do a pick for
No. I've got the last song, so I'll wrap it up. I think like we loved him at the start. Then there's this period of like turmoil. I feel like we're rounding off into a nice place, but Sean's still in a weird place. But I picked I picked one from Music to Be Murdered. To be honest, that album is actually full of so many bangers. Like, I don't know if you know the song with Don Toliver, Sam, but that song is sick.
Yeah, that song
like
is
that.
fire.
I've heard
Yeah,
that.
that
Yeah,
song
I like
is
that.
hard. Yeah,
Like, it's
good.
such a like that's not tone deaf at all. That he knows what's working and he does it so well too. But even the one with Anderson .Paak as well. But I picked Darkness because
Yes.
I feel like I just like artistically,
One.
he just entered a bag like a mindset he was in when he made Stan. I think because it's like let me put my head into the mind of someone else and like craft. Honestly, it's incredible. Like
brilliant.
I was mind blown.
That was the song I was going. That was the song I was going to pick if I didn't pick.
Take the whole thing.
Lucky You. Yeah.
You know what's twisted? This is something that Sam said in the. I don't know if you said it in the group chat or what, but like Eminem definitely inspired a lot of white Americans to do mass shootings because of the type of stuff he says in his music.
100%. And funny enough, today I was discussing with somebody and they were saying, I don't know if this is too spicy to bring at the end, yeah, but Eminem was either going to be who he is now or a school shooter. Do you know what I mean? Like,
It's likely.
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? That was pretty much it. What he was filled with, how he felt, and who he was in his head, like, I don't know.
But that's why.
Wait, hang on. Did I hear that right? Someone said that they think Eminem inspires mass shootings.
This was said on the group chat.
trying to go
earlier. I
viral.
think you missed it.
Why?
We're trying to go viral.
That is
yeah.
very,
But
very
let's be
wild.
no, wait.
God,
Let's hear this,
dude.
though. Because a lot of those school shooters and like whatever, they were those kids that would listen to Eminem in the Slim Shady day. Do you know what I mean? Like they actually were those people.
I don't know where Kieran's coming from. No, I'm joking. I know exactly where he's coming from with that. But I think it's too late in the discussion to even try bring
the
that
point
up.
I was trying to make was that it's kind of interesting that he made this song because I don't know if he like maybe blames himself for some of the violence in America because he definitely inspired some of it.
He's contributed to it quite heavily, yeah.
I don't know. I think my opinion is the opposite. I reckon he's actually kind of helped people get through emotions to stop them.
He makes music about killing people, misogynistic stuff, homophobic stuff. He makes a lot of horrible
Look at
stuff.
the times of today, yeah, where people get cancelled for saying stuff like this. And this music's not free to play, but you know what I mean? You can freely
Eminem was
access the music.
free. Yeah, like he was selling out with this kind of music. A lot of people were getting like ideas.
I don't know, man. Generally, angsty music is more of a release and escape for people rather than like I'm gonna now do this because I've heard it on tape. That's just me. But basically, I'm by no means ever gonna say that Eminem has inspired mass shootings. That's wild.
People say drill music has inspired violence, so let's tell the truth.
Wrong, though. I think contained within that, like you know, the people making the music and whatnot, but. I don't think your average person who's feeling a bit down is going to listen to drill and go out and stuff.
No. I'm not talking about rock bottom. I'm talking about like Kim. I'm talking about like 97 Bonnie. I'm talking about songs that aren't angsty. Angsty's like
Kim's wild, you know.
like
That's
Teen
like.
Spirit. Do you know what I mean? Like we're talking about other songs. We're talking about like murder songs, really and truly.
Because
That's not
the-
angsty music.
I see both points because anyone, if someone's like, I don't know, fucked up and they listen to Kim, gives them the ideology that, you can just take a woman, just put them in the back of a car and just, and that it's just wild.
Oh, no, I see what Sean's saying as well. Because, like, for example, Stepdad on the same album
Yeah, so that's
is
a good
like
song.
that kind of, but that is actually quite therapeutic to listen to because it's like, there are those moments. I don't know if people have had that, but like if you have like a step parent or like even like your own parent, if they're like an abusive one, you do have those visions like where you wish you could have done some of that stuff that he says on that, and it's like it's quite relieving to hear that. But
look, there's obviously probably the odd person out there that's inspired by him or music or any art form to do something, but I reckon the very vast majority of listeners are helped rather than hindered by it personally. Because it's like when people say Grand Theft Auto causes this or death metal causes that or gangster films. No, these people are going to do it regardless, like whatever. But that's a different conversation. But I think my interpretation of this song was like, on one hand, I think he's talking about, I think it's got kind of two meanings. I think it's about him, but his experiences in the industry, whether it's fame or performing and things like that, and then using that specific mass shooting incident as a kind of double entendre to play off his own like struggles with like getting up on stage and performing or dealing with the press and things like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Honestly, like, it's incredible that Eminem made this song as well, but only he could actually make this, I think.
This is
really and truly.
This is the example of like, this is where someone like Eminem in the early part of their career with the Slim Shady alter ego and the disgusting content that we've spoken about, and that this is kind of where you'd want an artist like that to get to with their content, because this is like you're playing on the horrorcore theme, but you're now doing it in a more, I guess, thoughtful way.
It's
there's
very mature.
an overall message here about, I think, gun violence as well. And this is not like some of the things we've said. This is not shallow. This is not like surface level. This is not like irresponsible. I think this is it's probably his best song in this era, at least. It might even be his best since like those early albums. I
don't think we played one that's better than this one.
No, maybe not.
But,
We've ended on a high.
So judging by the fact that everyone felt this version of Eminem, what would you want to hear from him next? Because realistically, what I've been hearing from him recently is actually quite impressive.
Those features,
very impressive, very impressive.
The Dre stuff, the thing he did with Snoop the other day,
the Dre one, the Snoop one, the Nas one.
I was just about to say, don't forget the Nas one. The Nas feature was unbelievable. Well,
when talking about his legacy, because like to kind of intertwine it with this, I think, because I know we've said a lot of critical, negative things, me being one of them definitely, but I think part of Eminem's legacy is when he drops a feature, it is a moment. Like whether it's well received or not, if someone has Eminem featured on their album, people go to it and they listen to it and we talk about it. And look, I'm one of the people that often says, look, he's saying a lot. Really, he's rapping really well, but he's not saying a lot. But sometimes the technical ability outweighs that, and it is very impressive. And I think, in recent times, there's been some really, really notable features. Sorry. What was I going to say? I want something really specific from him, like really, really specific. But I'm probably going to be on my own with this one as well. I want an Eminem project produced by The Alchemist.
You just want to combine every white rapper with
get out of
every
here, Sean.
Beckham,
Get out of here.
Eminem.
Wait a
That's
minute,
what you
wait
want
a
to
minute.
happen. Him
Wait a minute.
with what's his name?
Eminem doesn't
Action
have the flow for
Bronson.
that.
That's what you want.
Wait a minute. Hear me out. So The Alchemist has been Eminem's DJ. He's produced for Eminem on at least 2 occasions from what I can think. So they have had a working relationship. There's the Griselda connection and whatnot too.
Okay.
For me, at the minute, The Alchemist can produce a beat for anyone, as we've heard. And I know he's more in that underground lane and he's got his style and that. But I just think it would be good for Eminem, for someone to come in the studio with him and produce him, not just make beats for him, produce him. Right, this is the theme. We're going to do 10 tracks, 1 or 2 features at max. But me and you work on this together, not like all these other producers or your usual producers or you even, like, because Eminem produces a lot and we haven't really spoken about his production sort of career. But I think Look, maybe not even Alchemist, but for me personally, I want the Alchemist. But I think working with one producer on a condensed project with like a one or two singular themes would maybe get something out of Eminem that would be different and refreshing, rather than him.
I 100% agree. I agree with that.
There we go. So you were ready to shut me down.
Yeah.
No. Because this is one thing I was thinking earlier as well. It's like Eminem's so like, he's a bit of a megalomaniac in terms of like, he just controls everything about his music. And there's basically no collaborative process other than like, let's just grab a feature or, okay, I'm going to let Dre handle it. That's the only collaboration we get in terms of like consistency. And it would be interesting to see like someone that just helps him make good songs throughout the whole album.
I think judging by what Alchemist is up to, and judging by what Eminem's up to, that could be on the cards. There could be at least one track that comes out from them too.
What's that? Sorry,
an Alchemist and Eminem.
Eminem.
But I like that. I like that idea because I was gonna say because it will be almost like something like what Nas has found with Hit Boy. If Eminem did something like that, because it revived Nas's career. I'm not gonna lie. Nas went to Hit Boy. He's worked with him, and they found something, and now Nas is like re-energized and some of the music that they've both been producing is amazing. If Alchemist did that the same with Eminem, that could just like be amazing. That's what kind of needs to happen. So I do like that idea.
Could you imagine Eminem came to a producer like The Alchemist with the idea of the song we just listened to, the kind of soundscape that he would make for that song? Yeah,
that would be amazing.
I'm saying, because The Alchemist doesn't just, it's not like Alchemist has one sound. Listen to like the Rock Marcy album, the Arm & Hammer album, the Boldy James. He really crafts a soundscape for that artist.
Yeah.
I don't know, even an EP, just give us an EP or something. Or, and the other thing, this is a bit more bait, but like A Bad Meets Evil too, because that was, we didn't really speak about Eminem's other work like with B12 and Royce, but arguably like Fastlane and tracks like that in that second era we spoke about was probably some of his best work, most like entertaining work anyway. And Royce is like crazy.
Royce is just a different
Royce's leveled up
Royce is
in a
just
different
ridiculous,
way now.
man.
And
I don't think he gets
very
spoken.
interesting.
I don't think he gets spoken about enough. I'm sorry that the level of lyricism that Royce has got is just ridiculous. Because we're talking about Bad Meets Evil, but if you could start looking through his career, I'm sorry, like what he does in Prime as well. But this is digressing now.
No, props to M for like helping him get through whatever
100%.
struggles he was having. Though,
exactly,
to be great.
Yeah, and that's what we've got. I think talk about with M is the we always talk about how Dr. Dre gave him the platform to be who he was, but Eminem's involvement in the likes of a 50 Cent, the work he did with D12, Royce, as we're saying, the Bad Meets Evil stuff, but also just their collaborations in general. I'm trying to think of some other artists.
Slaughterhouse.
Even like I never heard of Griselda until Eminem when they signed.
That's true as well.
So we have to, although there are sort of glaring, I guess, poor decisions and inconsistencies in the quality of the music and whatnot. And obviously we have our problems with his content. Like we're not shying away from that. He's done a lot, I think. And there's always a part of me that if Eminem drops a project, I'm going to listen to it. There's always a part of me that thinks, can he make a great body of work again? I'm always going to be invested in that sense. And
he's still relevant. He's the 14th highest streamed artist on Spotify. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that's mad.
Still, like
that fan base is ride or die.
His fan base is probably the biggest hip hop fan base out of any, I think.
But
I don't even know if they're hip hop fans, to be fair.
I don't think most are. I know it's kind of a guess, but from throughout life, when people that I speak to that are really into Eminem, most of them aren't really checking for any other rappers, which is kind of, I guess it's an anomaly, really. The amount of times I'll sit, like people will say to me, like Jay-Z or Eminem, and I'll say Jay-Z, and the whole group will be like, "What? No, like Eminem." Like, and this, I'm like, "You don't really listen to hip hop, do you?" Nah, just Eminem. Okay, there you go. That's why. But no, he's. I still. In some regards, I consider him to be one of the greats still.
I do as well. After this convo, I think like I've come around, and it's like he's kind of revived himself.
Revival.
Yeah.
I guess we
But
should
I
try.
do think that
What are you thinking, Sam? Because I think we were both like really like against him at the start of this.
I guess we should try and be honest about how we feel about Eminem, and it's the fact that he's a really skilled rapper. You know, he's a master of the craft, and much like any artist, you know, he had the potential to be something amazing, and he has been something amazing. But he had his ups and downs, and I think he's, you know, the downs are definitely behind him. He's on the up now, but it's like any kind of project we hear from him has to be like nowadays, especially with where rap is right now. Like, forget his fan base. I'm talking about him as somebody who actually clearly cares about making music. It's got to be that high level, like, you know, a high level concept project. It's got to be flipping back to the old style of rapping, but with this new level of life he's lived. Because realistically, there's been 20 years of his life that we've not actually heard about in a deep way. But like for Kendrick, we've heard about the last 5 years of his life, and then the first 20 odd years of his life in his first album. And that is the market we're living in. You know, Kendrick, Cole, even Drake to a degree. We know where they're at in life. But with Eminem, he's actually just like a bit of a weird enigma, and he's not enough of a character for us to kind of go, oh yeah, we'll just accept that from Eminem.
Yeah.
Like we as fans, we really care about this guy and how he is and what's going on in his life. I'm also kind of just a bit nosy. But that's what I would say about Eminem is, you know, whatever comes out next will be great. But if he just keeps doing features till he dies, I'm not mad at that either, because the features are actually quite good.
The features are so fire, yeah.
I think a couple of things I'll just say to round off on. I think, look, as I said before, probably being a bit entitled and nosy, but there's been projects, there's been songs where you want a bit more from him, like personally and just and in terms of introspection and things like that. But he has displayed that throughout his career, and I think more often than not, his better music is the stuff where he's really kind of digging deep. But I just think more so, like, because artists don't need to do that. There's lots of artists out there that make perfectly great music without ever really going in depth about their life or about society or culture or anything like that. But the difference is, and I think this is where Eminem has lacked throughout his career, is just some of the beat selection and the hook choices is what's let him down. And if those were better, and I think maybe the length of projects too, making more condensed, you know, concise projects, we would maybe look past some of the more, I guess the raps where he's not really saying much. Do you know what I mean? I think there's a lot of filler and there's a lot of bloat, and that's what's kind of led to this. The final thing I'll say, and now it's good that Theo's back, one of the best live performers you ever see as well. He is very
he's unbelievably live. That's one thing I have to give to M. He's incredible. The way he engages a crowd, and he's the fact that he sounds exactly what he sounded like on the albums. He's probably, besides Kendrick, they're on par with their sort of rap performance. Because I saw him live at Reading, and it was absolutely phenomenal. And we all know how amazing Kendrick is, but Eminem's almost on that pedestal as well, because seeing him live was just incredible. It just gave me goosebumps when he performed Stan is just. And he brought out Dido. I'm sorry, that the goosebumps I had when he did that was just incredible. He had a whole crowd just sort of stunned to silence when performing Stan, because it was such a moving moment. And you're looking around, and he's got the whole crowd is just engaged in that sort of moment. For someone to be able to do that is just simply incredible. And he's been if you see him live, it's just Yeah.
I mean, I'll wait until we've to make a definitive choice, because we're going to be seeing Kendrick very soon. But from what I've seen, vocally, there's no one I've seen as good as Eminem. The only one was Jay-Z, but Jay-Z.
I was about to say Jay-Z.
What's the throne was hard,
the difference with Jay-Z is Jay-Z will stand there with a hat down and just go, whereas Eminem is using the whole stage.
Okay,
and he's not missing a beat. Whereas like a Kendrick, he does make adjustments to kind of keep on beat, which is fine.
Yeah,
still one of the best performers I've ever seen live. But Eminem, like Theo was saying, is like CD quality whilst moving around the whole stage. It's pretty impressive.
And not to put it down, but that does sound quite robotic as well. But
it does come back to that as well. Yeah.
Sorry.
We'll take Kieran's hate out of this. Well, last things last, If you're this far into the episode, why the fuck aren't you in the Discord? Please get into the Discord. If you're hearing us on YouTube, comment some shit. I know you're an Eminem fan. You probably found us on your For You page. What the fuck is on YouTube? I don't fucking care. But yeah, get a Discord. comment in the comments. That's it. That's the grey area.
Hey, this is Sean, and thanks for listening to another episode of The Grey Area. Are you an upcoming artist, critic, journalist, or content creator? Hit us up on our Discord or in our YouTube comments if you want to share new music, take part in an interview, or are interested in collaborating. Links to these can be found in the show notes. Take care.